Hi Daily Dragons, this is Miss Coach and I want to welcome you back to the Writer's Workshop, the Literary Essay Series for Lesson 8. This is our final lesson before we draft, edit, revise, and publish. We will publish next Wednesday, May 6th. So let's take a look at how far you've gone, my friends, and how to write a literary essay. You've explored ideas about our core novel, Esperanza Rising. After your ideas, you settled on one big idea, one big lesson or theme, and created a thesis for your core novel. You've collected evidence. You've written out micro-stories, used quotes and lists to provide evidence to support your big idea. And now we are in lesson 8. You will be doing the beginning and the ending of your essay. Now, I want to tell you that before the thesis statement, literary essayists usually put their particular essay and or their particular text they are writing about into context. They write a generalization about literature or stories or life, one that acts as the broad end of a funnel, channeling readers so that they are ready for a specific point the essayist sets forth in the thesis statement. So let's try together. I have another tool for you to use. Here is the chart titled Steps to Writing a Lead for your introduction. Now, these are the 4 things I want you to do. First, you will list general themes your essay might address. So, the question you can ask yourself is, what is my essay really about? After you list general themes about what your essay is about, you will choose one. Then, you will brainstorm possible leads that pop out that particular theme that you've chosen. And then you will choose that one lead to start your introduction with, and you will add your super long and strong thesis statement after it. So here is a list of general themes for my literary essay in the story Fox. Well, remember my thesis and reasons? My thesis is dog is a good friend, right? So my essay is about showing that dog is a good friend. So here's my list. My essay is about friendship. Okay. Let's see, the second general theme is a great role model of a good friend. Oh yeah, that's Doug. Okay. And then I have how to treat others. So the first one, my essay is about friendship. I feel like that is too general. It's too broad. I could be a little more specific. And then I'm looking at this last one, how to treat others. Well, the book is not a how-to book. It doesn't show you exactly step by step on how to be a good friend. So I think the general theme that I'm going to stick with is dog is a great role model of a good friend. Right? So I want to now brainstorm some possible leads for my chosen theme. Right? So I want to get readers to start thinking about, what is a great role model of a good friend? Right? So let me think. So I've been working and writing, and let's take a look. I'm going to remind myself of my general theme. Okay, great role model. Okay, good. I want to get my readers thinking about what is a great role model of a good friend. All right. So here's my first lead. Read it with me. Imagine you are at recess and you see friends arguing and fighting. Did one friend mistreat the other? Being a good friend may not be that easy because it requires a lot of work and effort. In the book Fox, the author shows a great role model for being a good friend, and that is Dog. Oh, so here I'm getting the reader to imagine themselves in a situation with friends, right? Okay. And then I introduce the book that I will be writing about. And I bring up my theme that the author shows a great role model for being a good friend, and that is dog. And that's when I can add my long and strong thesis statement Dog is a good friend because he is caring, he is helpful, and he doesn't give up on them. Right, so there's my first lead. I'm going to try a couple more. Here's my second lead. Are you a good friend? Many people have friends, but do people really know how to be a good friend? Well, if you read the book Fox, you can find a great role model who showcases how to be a good friend, and that character is Dog. Oh, and that's when I can go into my long and strong thesis. Dog is a good friend because he is caring, he is helpful, and he doesn't give up on his friends. Okay, so this one, I'm asking the reader directly a question. Are you a good friend? Right? And I'm getting them ready for the world of friendship, right? Getting them to think about, wait, what does it take to be a good friend, right? So, and then I introduce the book, and I say you can find a great role model. So I'm connecting it back to my general theme of what is a great role model for friendship, for a good friend, right? So, I like that one too. I'm going to try one more. Number 3, read it with me. Do you have lots of friends? If you say yes, does that mean you're a good friend just because you have lots of friends? If you're questioning yourself, you can read books to discover role models who showcase how to be a good friend. In the book Fox, the main character, Dog, is the kind of good friend that everyone wants. So again, I'm starting with a question and I'm asking the reader directly, right? And I'm trying to get my readers to start thinking about friends and what does it mean to be a good friend. Right? So I'm pulling them into this context, the world of friends. Then I get right into the book. Right? And I say, well, in the book Fox, the main character, Dog, is the kind of good friend that everyone wants. And that's the perfect introduction to my thesis, which I will add right after my lead. And it would be, Dog is a good friend because he is caring, helpful, and he doesn't give up on them. Ooh, I like these 3. So I'm going to save all 3 because when I'm drafting my complete essay, I'm going to try each introduction to see which one fits best. So for now, I'm going to save all 3 of them. But if you could help me, maybe you guys can help me vote on what you think is the best introduction for my essay. Do you think lead number 1 in red, lead number 2 in green, or do you think lead number 3 in kind of like a violet color, the violet text? Right? Go ahead and type in the chat, which lead do you like best? Which lead do you think is the strongest for introducing my thesis that Dog is a good friend? And this is a book that includes a great example of a really good friend. Right? Type it in the chat. Lead 1, lead 2, or lead 3, and why? I'm going to give you a moment to type. Yeah, I like all 3. I can't decide. I think once I read them with my essay, I can determine which one would be best. Now we're done with the beginning. Now for your ending, the conclusion. Of course, I have another important resource for you to use, and this chart is titled Conclusions. So when you write your conclusion, first, I want you to reconnect back to your broader theme. So for me, it's about the great role model of a good friend, right? Who is a good role model? Then I want you to connect either to one of these 3. Either connect your thesis and emphasize why the claim and evidence matter, or make connections to myself and the life lesson that I learned when I read this book, or make a connection back to the author's message. Right? Explain what the author was trying to teach the reader based on the character in the book or their life. And finally, at the very end, you want to leave readers with something to think about, right? So a literary essay is a persuasive essay, right, about a text. And in this case, it's about your core novel. So in the end, you want to leave your readers with something to think about the core novel, right? Either they're agreeing with you or they're disagreeing with you. So let's take a look at my conclusion. Here it is. Read it with me. I hope you agree with me that dog is a good friend. Bye, and thank you for reading my literary essay. What do you guys think? Type it in the chat. What do you think about my conclusion, my first draft right now? What do you think about my conclusion? It's too short. And does it even check off any of my must-dos on my conclusion chart? Let's see. Did I reconnect back to the broader theme about what is a great role model for being a good friend? Didn't do that. Did I make a connection to my thesis? Oh, yes, I did. I did say dog is a good friend, right? But, oh, wait a minute. But right here, I didn't emphasize why my thesis, my claim, and evidence matters. Okay, I didn't do that. So how about, did I connect to myself and the life lesson that I learned? No, I didn't describe any lesson. How about this third one? Did I connect to the author's message? Nope, I didn't even talk about the author at all, or what the author said. And how about the last requirement? Did I leave readers with something to think about? Not quite. I mean, I said I hope you agree with me, but I don't know if that's convincing enough. Would this conclusion convince you? I don't think so. It wouldn't convince me. So let's try again. I moved my conclusion charts over here on the side. Make sure you're always referencing your tools and your resources, okay? So here is my second draft of my conclusion. As you can see, read it with me. As you can see, it takes a lot of hard work and effort to be a good friend. If you need a reminder of how to be a good friend, you can read the story Fox. Dog is caring, helpful, and he does not give up on his friends. Don't you wish you were a good friend like Dog? All right, let's check the chart. Did I reconnect back to my theme? Let's see. As you can see, it takes a lot of hard work to be a good friend. Yeah, I'm connecting it back. How to be a good friend. The role model, right? Next, did I make connections to my thesis and emphasize why it mattered? Okay, let's see. If you need a reminder of how to be a good friend, you can read the story Fox. Okay, so I'm reconnecting back to the story. So I'm kind of connecting to the author's message, right? Then I say, dog is caring, helpful, and he does not give up on his friends, right? So I'm explaining, hey, this is what it takes to be a good friend, right? So I'm providing the evidence. And I'm kind of also including the lesson that I learned, right? This is the lesson you can learn from reading this book, right? You can read about a role model of a great example of a good friend. And did I finally, let me check these off because I realized I forgot to do that. Yeah, I made some connections. I made it to my thesis. I did connect to my evidence. I even talked about kind of a lesson learned from this book, which connects to the author's message, right? I say, hey, if you need a reminder of how to be a good friend, you can read the story Fox. And finally, did I leave readers with something to think about? What do you think? Type it in the chat. Did I leave readers with something to think about? Yes? And how do you know? What makes you say that? I would love to hear your responses or read your responses in the chat. Did I leave the readers with something to think about? Well, I tried. Here it is. I wrote, don't you wish you were a good friend like Dawn? I feel like this question gets readers to think, reflect, and think about themselves and question whether they are a good friend like Dawn. So I think yes. Yes. So now it is your turn to write your introduction and conclusion. Here are the directions. As always, your homework link will be in the description below. You will continue, number 1, typing on your Word document that you created for your microstories, quotes, and list home, okay, on OneDrive. I do want you to use size 12 fonts, please. Number 2, at the bottom of your document, label your introduction paragraph as introduction and type your introduction paragraph using the steps to writing a lead chart, right? So here's your chart here. I want you to copy this chart onto your Word document so that you can use it just like how I was using it when I was drafting my introduction. Okay. Number 3, after you'll type your conclusion, your ending paragraph, title it conclusion. Okay. And again, I want you to use your conclusions chart to help you determine whether your conclusion is sufficient or not, right? It has a good closing. Again, copy and paste your conclusion chart onto your Word document because I want you to reference it. Number 4, it says scroll down to the next page to see Ms. Coach's literary essay example. So I created my own example so that you can see how much work you should have, how many paragraphs you should have by now. And this is the order that I'm putting them in. Okay? And at the very end, when you've completed your Writer's Workshop number 8 homework, please notify your teacher, Ms. Coach or Ms. Lichtel, on Microsoft Teams or through email. Okay? I'm going to show you my literary example. This is on your homework link as well. Okay, it's the next 2 pages, so you will see it. I included my box and bullets at the top. In red is a label or my thinking, just so that you know, to explain what my black text is, right? So I have my thesis, dog is a good friend, your thesis and reasons will go in paragraph 1. Okay. If you look at this graphic organizer, you'll see the first box says introduction paragraph. I've included your chart, and then this is my introduction paragraph. Okay. Now in red, I label what each sentence was. So here I wrote, lead, are you a good friend? I decided to use this introduction for now. Okay. And then after I was done with my lead, I added my long, strong thesis. Okay. Then next you will see are the middle paragraphs, which we call your body paragraphs. And these paragraphs are your microstories, quotes, or lists that prove your reasons. Okay. And again, I've included the how to angle a story chart on the side for you to reference if you need. And it continues on the next page. Okay. So since I have 3 bullets, 3 reasons, I have 3 body paragraphs. Okay, so this is one body paragraph, this is the second body paragraph, and this last on the next page, this is my 3rd body paragraph. Okay. And my first body paragraph, I used a microstory and quote to prove my first point. On my second one, I used a microstory and quote again, a different one to prove my second reason. And for my 3rd body paragraph, for dog doesn't give up on his friends, I used a list and quote instead. Okay, so you get to decide which of your paragraphs are stronger, your micro story paragraphs or your list paragraph. And at the very end, you have your conclusion, and I included your conclusion chart on the side. And this is my conclusion, and in red is just my thinking to let you know. So here I reconnected to the broader theme. On the next part, I made a connection to my thesis and why it matters. And at the very end, I left the reader with something to think about, which was, don't you wish you were a good friend like dog? Now, at the very bottom, you see highlighted, it says blank text, blank template on the next page. So in your homework assignment, you will also see a blank template. If this is a graphic organizer you would like to use, please go ahead and copy it and paste it onto your Word document. And you can put your introduction in the first box, in the next is your body paragraph, and then the next page would have your conclusion. As always, if you have questions about your writing homework, your literary essay, please contact Ms. Coach or Ms. Licto through Microsoft Teams or through email. This is a reminder that we will publish next week, next Wednesday. So if you are behind, it is important that you catch up. Today is Thursday. That means you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 5 days, okay, to draft before we publish on Wednesday. I will give you a writer's checklist when it is time to draft and publish. This concludes Lesson 8 for our Writer's Workshop, the Literary Essay Series, our final lesson. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you.